Hey guys, Carl Brown here, and I think this is my first video that I've ever done standing up. So I have no idea what to do with my hands. I have no clue. But anyway, I wanted to let you guys know about this music tent that I recently got. Now, the whole reason behind it and why I got it is I purchased a concert classical guitar this past summer, and the maker of it was, he's got a whole section on his website that you have to watch the humidity levels of your guitar, which is true. If you have a nice guitar, you could buy the nicest polish and restring it every other day and keep it. But if it doesn't have the proper humidity level, it's going to have issues. You might notice when the seasons change, your setup completely changes. A lot of that is from the humidity in the air. If it gets too dry, the wood retracts, and that can make your frets, kind of stick out. It can even make the guitar crack, especially with acoustic guitars. Concert classicals are very sensitive to that. So I definitely wanted to figure out something that I could control the humidity for this guitar and keep it within a nice range. You don't want too much humidity or too little. Yeah, between 45 and 50% relative humidity is really where you want it. If it gets below 40 and above 60, he recommended to really do something about it. So I was about to take a closet in my room, seal it off with plastic and tape it up, and I was trying to get my fiance to let me do it, and she wasn't really down for it, but I was on my way to getting that done, and then all of a sudden this thing came across my Facebook feed, and I was like, this is a lifesaver. So I wanted to try it out, so I got one, and it really is a lifesaver. This thing, I have this in my house. I just have it in a closet in my house. Just takes up a little section of it. And I can fit up to 3 guitars in here. Now what it does is it will allow you to, obviously seal this up. I'll show you that in a second. And it has this moisture delivery system that is really easy. It doesn't use any batteries. It doesn't use any power. It doesn't use any kind of like foam or any kind of the sponges that you put in your guitar. And the great thing about it is it makes sure the entire guitar is humidified. You'll see those in-case humidifiers where you'll stick it something like a sponge down in the sound hole, and they really, like the maker of my guitar, he doesn't believe in those. He doesn't think the entire guitar gets its full humidity. So you really want the entire environment of the guitar to have the proper humidity level. And this was absolutely perfect. It just worked like a charm. Now right now, I don't actually need it. The weather here in the LA area is literally right at 50% humidity. And so I was going to shoot this for you. A week ago, it was down into the 20s, and this thing was working like a charm. It had my guitars right up there at that level. But the great thing is if you live in, say, a very humid climate, you can use something like this, which they recommended. It's a damp rid. Now you can purchase this for like $2 or $3 at like a Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. You put this in there with it, and in combination with the humidity, the moisture delivery system, they work together that you can get the perfect, you can adjust the moisture delivery system along with this, because if you just left in this by itself, it'll take the humidity level way down. But you can get it a nice controlled environment to protect your guitar from any elements, year round, no matter what the season. So it's really great. It worked amazing. And then when I come to shoot the video, the humidity is perfect anyway. So, but I really wanted to let you guys know this. If you live in a cold climate where you have a lot of heat in your house, your humidity levels is probably in the 20s, and your guitar needs a drink. You need to make sure that you get that humidity level up, especially if you have a valuable guitar. You can do permanent damage to it if you don't. And if you live in a climate where it goes over 60, like in the summertime, this in combination with the humidification system in there will, make it, work perfectly. This thing is portable. I just picked this up and brought this here, no problem. It took me about 3 minutes to put it together. They have a video, shows you how to put it together. I just followed along. The thing was $99. It's like a steal. And I just can't believe that it was so easy. And all you have to do is basically take this, lower it, zip up your guitars, and they are protected from the elements, and you have a nice controlled environment in there without causing a lot of issues, it has a built-in hygrometer here that comes with it. And so it'll monitor what it is inside it. So if you have to adjust it or whatever, you can, but it is so easy to use. And the water source, you use diluted water for it. So I just bought a gallon, and which cost about $1, and it is on pace to last months. So that's the upkeep. I just put that much water in it, and it doesn't use that much, but it keeps the perfect, because it just contains it all so much. It doesn't need to use too much. It's not losing anything. So it's just a perfect tool to keep your guitars at the perfect humidity level. So I highly suggest it. It's called the Musik Tent. It's by Origineer. I will have all the links for it in the description. And I encourage you guys to kind of study up, read about guitar humidity levels online, just so you know how valuable this is to keep your guitar within that 45 to 55% range. It'll really, keep your guitar lasting for decades and decades without all the cracking. It'll limit the amount of setups you have. If you go and get a setup done in the summertime and then winter hits and your action's just all whacked and your frets are kind of exposed, it's because of the humidity, and it's very easy to control now with this thing. So I highly recommend picking one up and learning about the humidity levels for the guitar, and it's going to save you a lot of heartache in the future. All right, I'll see you guys soon.